and welcome to the 2022 virtual production of Raise the Vibration. My name is Kaylee Shea Darty, and I'm this year's director. I'm so excited our vibrations could reach you no matter where you're tuning in from. Tonight, you will see a diverse group of individuals performing the true stories of fellow students on campus that have been unheard, untold, or ignored. The theme of this year's show is resilience. I encourage you to look in the director's note on the third page of the playbill to read more about why we chose this theme. Now, before we get into the excitement of the show, please direct your attention to the third page in our playbill. Here you will see a trigger warning. Some of the content in our show may be triggering to some. These pieces will be noted in the playbill, and an auditory message will be played beforehand. If you need to take a break during these pieces, I encourage you to mute your device or leave the room. Additionally, there are resources you can connect with, and that will be found on your playbill as well. Here at V-Day SDSU, our mission is to end violence against women and gender non-conforming people. And the one main way we do this is by spreading our message each year. So thank you for being here to receive this message. The other way we do it is by raising money for a local organization. This year is Shakti Rising. Any donations you give tonight via the Venmo will be given directly to Shakti Rising. Now, without further ado, let's raise the vibration.
Did you hear that?
Not quite. What was that?
Did you hear it that time?
What is that?
What's going on? That noise!
Is that your phone?
No, it's something else.
Do you know what that is?
It's a vibration! A mechanical phenomenon whereby oscillations occur around an equilibrium point.
A what?
A vibration! A movement or cause to move continuously and rapidly to and from.
Say what?
Vibrate, to resonate, and be heard.
Oh.
We want to hear your stories. Come far and wide. The misunderstood, the voices that need to be lifted.
My story?
Yes, your story.
Oh, well, I grew up in a town where everyone loved me, got to my favorite college, graduated with a perfect GPA, and now I have a great job in New York.
That's great. We love that for you, truly, but we want to hear your more personal stories, you know, the ones that haven't been heard before.
Oh? That sounds kind of sexual.
Some stories can be
And awkward.
Well, on occasion.
and uncomfortable.
They usually are.
So, why do we talk about them?
To raise the vibration!
Huh?
Your vibration.
My what?
Your vibration. The lived experiences that shape you to be who you are.
The things that make you move and exist the way you do. So you want to hear my vibration?
Yes, that's right. And my vibration?
Yes, yours too.
Well, what if my vibration is sad? That's okay.
I feel like no one cares about my vibration.
We do. We want to hear it.
Yes, matter of fact, that's the whole point. We want to hear stories from marginalized communities that have gone unheard.
For so long, so many voices have been pushed down and ignored, and you want to help change that.
It's time for you to share your story, and it's time for us to listen.
We want to know your vibration.
What if my vibration makes people uncomfortable?
That's perfectly okay.
What if my vibration is really soft and quiet?
That's okay, we'll turn the mic louder.
What if my vibration is loosey-goosey, twisty-turny, ziggy-zaggy, flippy-floppy, and might piss some people off?
That's still fine.
Really, it is.
We want to hear your stories.
The ones that keep you up at night.
The ones that make you smile.
The ones that you overcome.
So you all want to hear my story?
Yes!
We all do, and by the looks of it, they all do too.
From an early age, I never let myself consider the idea that I could be anything other than straight. This wasn't because I came from an unsupportive family or community, but rather the idea of comphet, or compulsory heterosexuality. Compulsory heterosexuality is the idea that heterosexuality is assumed. It's the default sexuality. It is seen as the norm, and anything that even slightly strays from that straight and narrow norm has the potential to be looked down upon or punished. As women, we are taught by society that our role is to be with a man. The princess falls in love with the prince. The quarterback scores the homecoming queen. And Juliet finds her Romeo. And when that happens, because their lives are suddenly prosperous, fulfilled, and full of joy? So it's no wonder that so many girls grow up thinking that they must be straight. Throughout history, women have been treated as inferior to men, and from an economic standpoint, if a woman had even the slightest inclination to, I don't know, start a family or have a house, her only option was to be with a man due to the fact that job openings for women were scarce. Women couldn't even open a bank account until the 1960s. So of course, a she always needed a he. The people I was surrounded by when I was growing up were all extremely supportive of the LGBTQ plus community. In fact, several people I knew were gay themselves. This goes to show that I never suppressed myself out of a fear of not being accepted, which is not something I take for granted. I grew up with a fierce, deep, overwhelming, passionate love for the community. I wonder why. I found myself looking up to, and also at, anyone who was a part of it. But that's just because I was a really good ally, right? A few times, if I let my mind wander, I found myself thinking about what it would be like to have a Juliet instead of a Romeo, and then feeling disappointed because I was straight, or so I thought. Now, at this point, many of you may be wondering, how did she manage to miss every single sign on the road to Gay Town? Well, I will tell you how. Comp Het. When I was younger and not nearly as knowledgeable about the community as I am now, I was under the impression that a person could be either gay or straight, and there were no other options, right? I had also heard firsthand from people in my life that they knew they were gay from a very early age, but because those were the only stories I'd heard, I didn't realize that it's completely normal and valid to figure out your sexuality much later in life. Looking back on my middle school and early high school years, I realized that I misinterpreted any kind of emotion that I felt when I was around a guy as attraction. One time, I was on a date with a guy at the movies, and I was completely and utterly terrified that he would try to hold my hand or, God forbid, kiss me. Yeah, I drove straight past that big-ass rainbow-colored sign. And get this, even if I felt extremely uncomfortable around a guy who I felt maybe looked at me the wrong way, I would still pass it off as attraction and brush it off. That's the gravity and, dare I say, even the danger of Comp Het, and it influences so many people. Many, like myself at the time, may not even realize that they're being affected by it. Because I had misinterpreted so many of those feelings for so long, I had convinced myself that I was straight. Because if I liked boys, then I couldn't possibly have feelings for girls, right? I started to question my sexuality around my junior year of high school, when I was starting to learn more and more about the community and all the different identities people can have. And also learning that having an entire album of Emma Watson photos on my phone is not exactly straight girl behavior. Who knew? I realized that sexuality is so much more than I ever thought it was. It's a spectrum, and while some people are completely straight or completely gay, many people fall somewhere in the middle. For example, bisexual, pansexual, or fluid. I wish I could say I had a revelation about my sexuality practically overnight, but that was not the case. It took me a long time to figure things out and finally come out to myself. If I were to go into detail about how exactly I realized I'm not straight, we'd be here all night. But the moral of the story is this. I finally let myself think without judging myself and without putting a label or a time limit on anything. And now I can confidently say that I like women, which is pretty damn cool. I don't know whether or not any of the feelings I had for guys in the past were genuine or not, but it's not too important to me at the moment. I'm really happy with where I am, and that's all that matters.
Henry, my boy. This has truly been a wonderful meal.
Thank you, Dr. Fossey. Margaret and I are quite happy that you could come. Now, if we could get back to what I was mentioning earlier.
Right. There was something you wanted to discuss in terms of Margaret's health.
Precisely. Lately, we have been concerned that Margaret's medication isn't quite strong enough, you see. We were quite happy when the last dosage was able to keep her symptoms at bay, but now they appear to have returned.
The aberrations are back then.
I'm afraid so.
Do you mind if I ask you a few questions, my dear?
Yes, sir.
Do you see these aberrations often?
Yes, sir.
And they still speak to you, even after the last dosage and the new treatment?
Yes, sir.
Now, Margaret, do you ever listen to what they say?
It is not really my choice, sir.
Not your choice, you say. Well, is there one in the room with us right now?
No, sir.
And you're sure you've been taking your medication?
Yes, sir.
Well, I'll see what I can do. Thank you. Thank you again for the lovely meal, Henry, but I should be getting on my way. I've already upped the dosage twice since I've started treating her, Henry. I'm not sure how much good it'll do. As much as I hate to say it, I think it may be time to have her institutionalized.
I am not putting her in an institution. Do you know what that would do to me? To my reputation? To my business? I just need you to up the dosage one more time. See if that helps. It worked for a while last time. Maybe that was a sign that we're on the right track.
I don't know, Henry.
Please, Fossey, I'm not just asking you as a client. I'm asking you as a friend. Please.
All right. I'll up her dosage and I'll see if I can get my hands on a few of those sulfur injections. Maybe those will do her some good.
And you'll keep all of this away from the public eye.
Just like always. You truly are a saint, Henry, caring for her as you do.
Thank you, Fossey. Good night.
Good night.
I didn't think my medication needed to be changed.
Well, I did, so I decided to do something about it. You were quiet tonight?
I didn't feel much like talking. I really am fine, Henry. I feel much better after the last dosage Dr. Fossey gave me. The apparitions aren't doing anything to hurt anyone. I can manage them just fine on my own.
But you admit that you are still seeing them.
Well, yes, but
If you can see them at all, that is enough for me to want a change in your medication. I'm going out.
Do you want me to come with you?
No, you know that it's a bad idea for you to go outside. I'll be just fine on my own.
I see. Henry,
Yes?
I love you.
I know, dear. Don't wait up for me. I'll be home late. Oh, and don't forget to take your medicine.
Well, you sure left in a hurry. You must have mentioned me.
Please, I don't want to talk to you right now. You're responsible for this whole mess. I thought I told you to leave me alone.
You did. I just didn't listen. So, the doc wants to up your medication again?
No, Henry does.
You know, I'm beginning to feel like it's possible the man doesn't like me very much.
Please, Justine, be reasonable. Henry has cared for me from the day we were first married. He's a good husband.
Yes, a good husband. The kind who doesn't let his wife leave the house. Just a lovely husband, really. You did wonderfully, by the way. Pretending you couldn't see me after the last time Fossey upped the dosage. You know, he almost believed you too if it weren't for your little slip-up last week.
You were singing operatics. It was a bit hard for me to ignore. Besides, the medicine makes me feel horrible. I didn't want to have to take any more of it.
I was singing, wasn't I?
Don't you dare.
You really are no fun. So, where is Henry anyhow?
He went out.
Again? That man has been out every night this week. You know, one's mind tends to wander as to where he might be going.
Oh, please, he just needed some fresh air.
Whose fresh air is he needing?
Justine! That is enough. I don't want to hear any more outrageous speculations. I'm going to bed.
All right, Margaret, whatever you say. After all, a woman knows what is best for her own body.
Good night, Justine.
Good night, Margaret.
Have you seen Henry?
No, ma'am. I believe Mr. Henry already left for work.
Oh, that's strange, don't you think? He didn't even come down for breakfast.
It's not my place to question his motives, ma'am.
Oh. Do you want help with the laundry?
If you would like to, you're welcome to join me.
me, do you own any pink lipstick?
No, ma'am, it doesn't suit me.
Do I own any pink lipstick?
No, ma'am, I don't believe you do.
What time did Henry leave last night?
Around 6 o'clock, right after Dr. Fossey. He left around that time the evening before as well. Now that I think about it, he's left the house around that time most evenings for the past few weeks. I wonder where he's been going.
Just to get some fresh air.
Well, glad to see nothing exciting happened without me.
Nothing exciting.
What's that?
Nothing. Nothing at all.
Did you say something, ma'am?
Oh, no, just talking to myself. I think I'm going to go lay down for a bit.
Oh, Margaret, I didn't see you there.
How was your day today?
I don't really want to talk about it, darling. Business has been rough recently.
I thought you had a big meeting a few nights ago. Didn't that go well?
No, not as well as I hoped.
Oh. How was your outing last night?
My what?
You went out last night after Dr. Fossey left? Was it a nice outing?
Yes, it was refreshing.
Where did you go? You never actually told me.
Margaret, can't you see I'm trying to work here?
Yes. Sorry. You know, it says here that overworking yourself can be bad for your health and home life.
Now don't you, of all people, tell me what is good for my health. Besides, you shouldn't read the papers, they make you anxious.
Henry, I think I know what is best for my own body.
And what idiot told you that?
Oh, no one. I read there's a new lawyer in town. His ad says business, medical, and divorce. Maybe he could help you down at the company.
I don't need help with the company.
But I thought you said that business had...
Margaret, I don't need help with the company. Chatting tonight,
I just want to talk to you. I haven't really done that in a while.
Well, right now might not be the best time.
I see. Henry, I was wondering, could I start managing our accounting? It's just that I have so much free time being stuck in this house all day that I thought I could start doing more, like keeping track of our money. It would give me something to do, a bit of responsibility.
No. You have plenty to worry about around the house. Keeping track of something like that would just give you a headache. Don't you worry your pretty little head about the money. I'm sorry if I've upset you with that. We are managing just fine. I have to leave for another work meeting in a few minutes, and I'll be home a bit late tonight.
Oh,
Try to get some rest. You seem a bit more apprehensive than usual. A bit pale, too. Oh, and don't forget to take your medicine.
yes, dear.
Well then, goodbye.
Goodbye, Henry. Justine,
You rang.
I need your opinion on something.
Splendid. My opinions are wonderful.
I need to find something out, but it would mean doing something that Henry would not approve.
Ooh, a little deceit, I see. Nothing like a good rebellion to spice things up a bit.
So you think I should? You think it would be smart?
My dear, sometimes the right thing to do isn't always the smart thing to do.
I asked Henry if I could start managing our accounting.
Yes.
He said no, said I shouldn't worry my pretty little head about it. But I know where he keeps our files. He tries to hide them from me, but I found them anyways, and I thought maybe I could just sneak inside. I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I...
Open it.
Latest entry, June 26, 1949, to Miss Stacy, a bill of $4. June 24th, 1949, to Miss Stacy, a bill of $4. June 20th, 1949, to Miss Stacy, a bill of $5. June 18th, to Miss Stacy, a bill of $6. June 14th, June 13th, June 12th.
Who is...
It's another woman, Justine. I'm a fool.
Margaret, you are not a fool for being lied to.
What am I going to do?
I mean, there are several things you can do. You could cry. You could yell. You could break things. You could do nothing. You could go on simply as if that were no difference at all. Keep your mouth shut, your thoughts to yourself. Don't sip out of wine. Don't forget to take your medicine. Or you do something. You speak out just this once. So I ask you, what do you want to do?
I want to have a talk with my husband. Hello, Henry, dear.
Margaret, you startled me, darling. Margaret, what are you doing?
Oh, I'm just lying here across the dinner table, keeping myself entertained. Did you know that paper can be especially fun to tear when one is angry? I found your shirt while I was doing laundry with the maid. The one with the pink lipstick stain on it. Dear, I don't own any pink lipstick. Really, don't worry though, I'm all right. I read the recent entries in our accounting book too. I know what you've been doing all those nights you've been away. But really, I'm fine. Yes, more fine than I've ever been actually, because now I know. Now I know that you are a liar and a scoundrel who couldn't be bothered to stay with his sick wife, a scoundrel who only ever cared about his reputation, a scoundrel who would rather have the reputation of an adulterer than of one with a crazy wife.
Margaret.
No, don't touch me.
Have you...
Yes, I've taken my medicine.
Margaret, I don't...
No, don't try to explain. Justine told me this would happen.
Justine? Of course, Justine, your apparition. The thing I have been scrounging up every penny to take away told you what I was doing. Perfect.
No, don't try and turn this on me.
Do you know how hard I work every day to pay for your medical costs? How much it kills me to come home every day to a sick wife who I have to take care of?
Don't you dare say this is my fault.
Normal men get to take their wives out in public while I have to sit here and listen to this nonsense about lipstick. All I want is to be normal, to be in a relationship with someone who isn't insane.
It's not my fault you decided to sleep with another woman.
Don't you say another word. I have done no such thing. There is no stain on that shirt. There is no record of another woman in that book, and we do not have a maid.
What? No, I swear.
I will be calling Dr. Fossey in the morning, and we will get this taken care of once and for all. I'm going out. Take your medicine.
Bastard! Bastard! How dare he touch us? How dare he disappear every night and every day, doing the unspeakable, just to come into our house and tell us what to do? And he says we're the ones who need to be supervised. You know, we should
Leave.
What?
Leave me alone. Get out of my head. You are the reason why I'm... Wait, Henry, just get out. Get out. I don't want to see you anymore.
Miss Margaret, yes, are you all right?
I don't know what to believe anymore. How can he go and deny the things that I've seen with my own eyes, that I felt with my own hands, that I'm seeing and feeling even now? I've ruined it, and now I don't know what I'm going to do.
There, ma'am. The real world is just as you deem it to be. Nothing more, nothing less. Now, this may be a bit of an intrusion, but I was listening through the door when Mr. Henry came home. I heard the fight between you and him. I thought Mr. Henry had been raised better than to do something like this.
It's my fault for not seeing it sooner, for marrying him, really, and now I don't know what's going to happen next. They've already talked about sending me to an institution. I don't want to go there. Women don't come out of places like that. What should I do? I should
Leave.
What?
Leave him, ma'am. I've seen the way Mr. Henry has treated you for the past 5 years, and well, he makes you feel small
Yes.
and insignificant,
Yes.
and like you cannot take care of yourself.
Yes.
So leave him, ma'am. You're a strong woman. You may have your own hurdles in life, but you know how to take care of yourself. You've practically been doing it for the past 5 years. I read an ad in the paper about a new lawyer in town. He does business, medical, and divorce. One of the only lawyers in the area who does divorces. You should give him a call. It's time for you to take charge of your own life, ma'am.
But that's ridiculous. Only a woman who's crazy would have. I have a phone call I have to make. And a friend who I owe an apology. Well, I believe it's time. So you didn't leave me.
Not quite. You know I've never been very good at listening to instructions.
So you're not mad anymore? Not anymore. All of this, it's not your fault. It's not my fault either. If Henry can't see past my condition, then he should have never married me in the first place.
So I can keep you company again?
If you insist. But no operatics, understand? There's still only so much of you I can handle. Deal?
Deal.
Margaret! Oh, Margaret, there you are, darling. I come to say that I'm sorry that I hit you. I didn't mean to. And Dr. Fossey is on his way to make everything better. Margaret, what are those?
My things.
Oh, are you going somewhere?
To my brother's house out in the country. I called earlier this morning asking if I could be their daughter's tutor. They said they'd be happy to have me. I've always liked my brother's family, you know.
And why are you going?
I'm leaving you, Henry.
What?
Yes, you heard me right, I'm leaving you. After what happened last night, I realized something. Something I've never really realized until now. But I've made up my mind, Henry. I'm leaving you. I've called a lawyer and everything.
No, Margaret, you can't do that. I was coming home to apologize. Everything was supposed to go back to normal until when Fossey got your new medication. You can't do this to me, Margaret. My reputation.
Henry, dear. I don't care.
This is all your apparition's fault. You're having an episode. Margaret, don't do what they're telling you. Apparitions are dangerous.
Henry, I'm fine.
Yes, more fun than you, it seems.
I think he's completely lost his marbles.
Are you laughing at what they said about me? What did they say? No, don't tell me. I don't want to know. Oh, Fossey, thank goodness you're here. She's having an episode. She needs to be retained.
I came as soon as I could. Margaret, what's going on?
Nothing, Dr. Fossey. In fact, I've never felt better. It seems I'm no longer bothered by any apparitions.
Really?
Yes. For a long time in my life, I've had this thing that has hurt me, that has kept me from being myself. It took me a long time to realize it, but now I know that they only have as much power over me as I give them. And I've decided to not give them power anymore.
No, Fossey, she's lying. The stain on the shirt, I told you, she imagined it, and now her apparitions are telling her to leave.
Actually, I didn't imagine anything.
Well, there does seem to be a stain here. Henry, my boy, are you sure you're feeling all right?
What? No, that's impossible. I swear there was no stain there. It's a trick. It's her apparition. She even dreamed up the maid.
Who?
Maybe you should come with me down to my office, Henry. You could be running a fever.
No. I am not crazy. I do not imagine things. You have to believe me, Fossey. You have to.
I think I'm going to call Henry a cab. He seems to be a bit flustered. Are you sure you're going to be all right?
Yes, Dr. Fossey, I'm going to be perfectly fine. I've had a real breakthrough.
Good. Are you going somewhere?
To my family's house out in the country for a vacation. A very long vacation. A little fresh air would do me good, don't you think?
Some fresh air should do you quite nicely. Well, I'm going to call poor Henry that cab now. He is looking quite dreadful. Call me if you need anything. You know the number?
Yes, Dr. Fossey, thank you.
No, I'm not crazy. You'll see, you can't do this to me, Margaret.
Yes, Henry, I can. Ready?
Of course I'm ready. I'm ready to leave this dreadful place since the moment we got here.
The car is waiting outside, ma'am. We're ready when you are.
Oh, I've never been more ready in my life. And you know what? I don't think I'll be needing my medication tonight.
on the wrong side of the bed. Groggy, hormonal, and nauseous. And you may be thinking that I am exaggerating or going through some phase, but I can assure you that 65% of women feel the same way. I open my eyes as I reach over to the small box on my nightstand and shove a small pill down my throat at precisely 8 a.m. every morning in the hopes that it will protect me. Protect me from pregnancy and from the laws regarding my autonomy over my own body, which have been dictated by old white men. I feel instant relief. My reproductive rights won't be regulated by the government today. But it is in exchange for unwanted changes in my body. In exchange for the compliance with the misogynistic guidelines my government sees fit for my uterus come headaches, queasy stomach pains, mood swings. It's a deal with the devil. Nevertheless, I am still a huge proponent of birth control. It protects women and gives them opportunities they'd otherwise not have. It helps them obtain education and start careers. Sounds promising, right? Wrong! Not always. Birth control is not readily accessible to everyone. And the reality is that the burden of preventing pregnancies falls on those at risk of getting pregnant, not on those doing the impregnation. I've vaguely heard of research regarding birth control for men, but seeing as how our society operates, I don't see that taking flight anytime soon. Why would men want to be responsible for that? Let's look back. When the birth control pill was first created in the early 1950s by two men who I would label ancient feminists. Their names were Gregory Pincus and John Rock. These two men saw the problems that women in poverty faced when it came to unplanned pregnancies. They made birth control readily accessible for those who needed it most. Pretty hot, I know, right? Unfortunately, it's all gone downhill from there. Modern-day impregnators expect women to come fully equipped with whatever they need so that their sexual partners can have a little extra fun. In order to shield ourselves from the careless and self-entitled people who roam freely in regards to women's bodies, we must be aware of the already limited resources women do have available. Aside from the usual pill method, there are other contraceptive options for women. The ring, shot, patch, hormonal IUD, you name it. And although it may be difficult to find just one of these options that responds to your body positively, there are many variations of these products that could be just right for you. Ugh. Seems like, with all these available options, it would be easy to find just one easily accessible to all communities. But with 18% of women without health insurance and girls whose parents condemn birth control and low-income families, it becomes an impossible task. It took me 2 years to find birth control within my price range, and that was with health insurance coverage. So we can see how that's going. So, how do we solve these issues? How do we tell our doctors and our peers that birth control is a woman's saving grace, but it is crippling to her too? How do we say that this shouldn't be the only way to protect women? How do we shift the focus from responsible women to careless men? Well, the answer is right in front of you. In fact, the answer is you. You are all still listening to educate, empower, and to create safe spaces for women to wake up on the right side of the bed. Having OCD is like having someone whisper in your ear. But not beautiful things. Not I love you. Not you're beautiful.
Do not be kind to yourself. The whisperer is never kind. They are that person who has always hated you and you could never figure out why. They smirk at your suffering. Having OCD is like having a backseat driver. It's like learning to drive with everyone in the car screaming directions. Go faster, go slower, please stop! You followed all the rules. You stopped at every red sign and light. They will always disagree. And they will laugh. It's funny that you think that you know better than them. Having OCD is like arguing with your mom. Sometimes you're right, but she's your mom. So you will do what she says. Out of stress, out of anger, you will do what she says. My OCD is inconsistent. It shows up when it feels like it. My OCD is an opportunist. It feeds on the stress that feeds on me. My OCD makes me late. It is louder than the ticking of a clock. My OCD is a storyteller. It creates fantasies that authors could only dream of writing. My OCD loves me. It whispers sweet nothings in my ear and promises it does not intend to keep. It wishes it could stay forever. I try to tell it no, but it insists. After all, I have been such an accommodating host.
I'm wearing jeans, a sweater, Vans, and my apron. Nothing special. He's wearing khakis, a polo shirt, and dress shoes. I watch him as he approaches the register, eyeing my body with malicious intent.
I'm on my way to the coffee shop. I thought I'd dress up. Tights, a mini skirt, a button down, and Doc Martens. I did my makeup today. I feel confident. I feel pretty. Oh, a red truck.
He says my breasts are too large for my body. I disregard the comment. He speaks louder. Said my figure isn't up to his standards and that I should try a diet. I beg him to order medium Americano with soy. He smiles as a tear falls down my cheek.
He honks at me. My smile goes bleak. I walk faster in an attempt to leave him in my dust. Unfortunately, I can't outrun a truck. He rolls down the window and whistles. He isn't worth my attention. He compliments my legs. Says he'd fuck me and chuckles. I roll my eyes as he calls I'm a bitch for not thanking him.
It takes everything in me to not make a fuss. Paralyzed, I do what I've been told. They say don't be problematic, stay silent, it's ladylike. Men will be men. It's a generational issue. They can't change, but it's so hard to fit the expectations of that feminine mold.
He yells, "You're asking for it, sweetheart. I mean, look at the skirt. It shows my legs."
He continues to stare as I pour soy milk into his coffee. Is he taking a photo of me?
he won't stop harassing me. He starts to yell. That's it.
I hand him his coffee. He gives me a snarky look and points at a girl outside and says, "That's what a woman should look like."
In these situations, if they don't leave me alone, I make a scene. Make them feel like an idiot. I widen my eyes, stand tall and yell, "I'm not looking this good for you, pervert!" I tell him off a little more and he roams away in his discomfort.
I stay silent as he looks me up and down once more. He leaves the cafe.
It's not the start to my day that I imagined. Still, I'm not surprised. Just disappointed.
I should have done something. I don't know what, just anything to stand up for myself.
I'm so sick of this shit, but I'm going to keep fighting back for the women who can't. We aren't the problem, these degenerate men are.
Maybe next time I'll try to say something.
Maybe if we address the problem enough, eventually people will be better.
They say for every 100 girls, 3.5 of them are gay. But I disagree. Because I have a list. I don't even know 100 girls, and I have a list. I'm first. I've known I was gay since the first grade when future cheerleading captain Abigail asked in front of the whole class who my Valentine was and followed it up with, "Oh, yours could be a girl." Then there's Jezebel. At the wise old age of 8, she got sent out of religion class for delivering a sermon on the hypocrisy of sermons, of judgment of priests who have no right to judge. Her words, not mine. Then there's Amaya. She just wears a bucket hat and fanny pack every day. She can go either way. Blair cut all her hair off below her ears to show off all 7 of her piercings. Chen's parents got deceived by pulling her out of 7th grade and sending her to conversion therapy. No one's seen her since. She's still on my list. Then there's Adrian. She just plays rugby. Already, that's 5 girls. But then there's Nevaeh. Nevaeh's not on my list. I wish she was.
I say, for every 100 babes I've got my eye on, 99 of them want my hands on. And that one who doesn't is the one I've got to have, because that's the one who's going to be worth it. And she's probably the hottest.
She says for every 100 boys who have a crush on you, 100 of them are shit, and I'll feel this right about most things. She makes some extremely good points, yet I just feel like she can't be right about this. I mean, why would women spend hundreds, if not thousands, if not millions of years pining after men if they're all shit? I know it's tradition, I know it's old, but there must be something to it.
Nevaeh, you're hot.
I could have told you that. I have told you that. You're hot. You're beautiful.
But he did too, and that's supposed to be special.
A new boy tells Nevaeh he likes her pretty much every week. And it always goes something like this. Every time she says she thinks she likes him back. I tell her to make a move.
What if he says no?
Why would he say no? He likes you first.
Still, what if he says no?
What if he says yes?
What if he says yes?
Then she finally goes on a date, says it was good, and never mentions him again.
They say the average person is in 3 to 5 relationships before they found the one. I don't know if I agree, because I sometimes wonder if I found the one before I was even in a relationship. But that just feels wrong.
So, they say that 66% of white Christians are homophobes. Fucks up with that, right? Do we have, Ophelia in the house? Yeah, your parents are fucked, dude. Oh. Sorry.
My parents said they'd be supportive of me if I was gay, which I can't be because boys keep lining up for me, and I feel like eventually one of them will be okay.
Yo, Ophelia. Your friend hasn't said anything to me in days.
It's not you. Well, I mean, it is you, but it's not. Just ignore her. You're a dude. You should be pretty good at that. Oh, sorry.
I would say if I was gay, I should have been the one to find out as a kid. I mean, someone else would have been able to point it out for me. My parents said they'd be supportive of me if I was gay, which I'm not sure makes a difference.
They say 50.8% of people are female and 49.2% of people are male. But I'm not sure where I fit in, so how can that statistic be correct? I know I'm a woman, but I'm not sure it's as simple as that. She, her, he, him, they, them, she, they. She bought the ticket. They're leaving in August. She said they want me to come. She, they. She, they.
She said she liked me. They said it's the only thing she knows for sure, and Ophelia's right about most things. I'm just worried they're right about this. As long as I don't hate someone, I always like them back, and I really don't hate Ophelia.
She said she turned down Ryan, and Griffin, and Jesus. But she hasn't told me she likes me back. She hasn't mentioned it. Nothing's changed except instead of catcalling and whistling, boys are leaving our house crying.
How long is a crush supposed to last? Mine usually lasts a week. But is that a crush, or is that what it's like to know someone who isn't an asshole? Ophelia told me she's all packed up for college, and I realized I've been thinking about them for years.
She asked me to stay. I want to say yes, but there are two things I know for sure. I love Nevaeh, and I can't make myself stay another day in that house.
Will you wait for me?
I've been waiting. Gotten pretty good at it. I know how it goes. You have as long as you need. I'll be here.
They say we can only learn to love by loving. I thought I knew what that meant. And it turns out I was loving along, just not exactly who I thought.
They say if you love something, let it go. If it comes back to you, it's yours. If it doesn't, it never was. But no one ever tells you what to do when you're the one who has to leave.
It is now our intermission. Feel free to hit pause and take a break, and we'll see you when you come back.
He groomed me at the end of the day. I can't pretend it wasn't the case because his calloused hands took a silver comb and ran it through my midnight hair. He picked my clothes and primed me to love him. It is hard to separate my love for him from his actions. Or was it his actions that made me love him in some kind of fucked up way? Did he reach for my cheek with those hands and whisper sweet little nothings that only I could hear so that my mind would turn to muck and confusion? My mind was a swamp. I had so many questions. He never reached for my cheek with those hands, but he still sowed letter bombs into the garden of my conscience, making me fumble because I didn't know what to do. The one that hurt the most was, I have feelings for you like you have feelings for me. Everything felt like a gentle mist, settling onto my body, unaware of the fog that I was trapped in. The worst thing was when he would look at me with a gleam in his eye. When he would look at me from behind, the chances he could. I know he was staring at my butt, at the beginnings of curves of my underdeveloped body, and at the time I thought that I liked it. The attention he gave just to me, the exclusivity. But now I have to realize what it really was. He invited me over to his house and cooked a perfect recipe for disaster. The meat of it all was that he was an enabler, giving me weed and attention despite that I was a minor. He let me abuse substances he gave me. These substances were always given under the guise of how close we were. I think he got off seeing me have adult experiences. But the difference was he was an adult and I was still in high school. I was a kid. He was an adult. He was an adult.
I've got dirt all over me. I've been out for too long, playing in the mud. The sacred place where grew the flower buds. I grew up playing too, but it was the ones who did not know where to stop. With the ones my innocence slipped onto the mud, unsound, unnoticed. Now my soul's restless as it awaits the hand of love, yet the mud is taken no more and the soul is sedated much more. The dirt is all over me, it's seeping into me and I feel the urge to flee. It's telling me to run away. For I had carried the dirt home. Home. Where mom's furniture is white. Where brother's laughter is loud. Where people know where to stop. I know I got to run away from the town with the dirt.
He wanted me to talk dirty, but I'd always been clean. I didn't want to say, I want you inside me. I wanted to say, cuddle me, caress me. Instead, he grabbed my ass and slapped me. Foaming at the mouth, rabid with greed, he filled me with his filth. I don't like that. It hurts, I say. He replies, it's supposed to. He came to play dirty, my sheets contaminated with his disdain. I scrubbed, yet I still saw it. I, too, was tainted. I sat rotting away until spring cleaning. I cleared up the built-up gunk, the memories polluting my existence, until I regained a shimmer under crusted layers of filth. My sheets washed in boiling self-love. I lie there, finally clean.
Why do I look at myself in the mirror every morning and contemplate if my clothes are too revealing?
I was told in the 6th grade my shoulders were too sexual.
Why do I make sure I never leave the house without pepper spray? Maybe then I'll be left alone.
Why do I check behind me every minute when I'm walking or jogging alone?
I fear a shadow lurks.
Why do I make sure I'm not the only woman on the metro?
Because otherwise they just happen to have the same stop as me.
Why do I feel unsafe in parking garages?
Because I fear the possible attacker waiting for me as I walk alone to my car at night.
Why do I make myself quiet when men make me feel uncomfortable at work?
Because otherwise I'm the one who gets in trouble.
Why do I have to act like catcalling is normal?
Because they say it is a compliment.
Why do I have to accept this as my reality?
Why do I have to be the one to conform to this?
Why do I have to be the one to change?
Why do I have to be the one to keep quiet?
Why do I have to be the only one who cares?
Why do I have to live like this?
Why do I have to be the only one who's scared for my safety? For my life?
We live in a world where we've overlooked the actions and misguidance of people who've hurt others without any kind of care. Instead of telling people to be careful and to have woe, to the pleading and aching victim will go. Tell them to hush, put up with the pain. How dare they ask their peers to go out of their way? Because it would be too much effort, too much time to stop and consider feelings other than mine. The emotional damage, the destruction you caused. You didn't release our lifeless necks from your crimson jaws. For your pleasure, your selfish lust, to fade away and die inside we must, because it would be too much to ask. You to ask and listen. We told you no! We shook our heads. You still had no issue infiltrating our beds. When you failed to stop, we stopped and played dead. But that didn't matter to you. There was only one thought in your head. Don't you remember what you said after I whimpered and fled? You're fine! Stop killing the mood! You're not that drunk! This is something you need to do. You knew it was wrong. Victims have spoken out. You heard the stories. Sexual assault has been talked about. How did you feel? Was there a fleeting moment of guilt? Because when you touched me, my whole self needed to be rebuilt. I was cursed with pain and fear, getting anxiety when people came near. When someone touches my shoulder or leans in for a kiss, when they ask for a hug, these should be moments of bliss. But instead, I recall the memory of you. It makes me sweat and suffocate. It was paralyzing. Or did you forget? When your fingers touched me without consent, your ego and pride fashioned your defense. You caused trauma, but claim responsibility you would not dare. Instead, you tell us it is because of what we decided to wear. Restless nights on victim hotlines, summer days when the sun didn't feel warm, an unreal number of shed tears, swirling rage and agony created an emotional storm. But despite the ache, I decide to tell myself the truth over and over and over. I'm a shit person's lack of judgment, one cool boy's lack of respect. A supposed friend's gross misconduct does not define who I am. Not anymore. We are warriors, women of gold, victors and heroines, beautiful and bold, elegant and loved, brilliant and bright. We now have dreams instead of nightmares at night. And you will remember when you hear our names that it is not ourselves but you who should be ashamed. Because from the ashes we rise, stronger than before, with resounding voices impossible to ignore. But you think it is for ourselves that we speak out? No, it's something much bigger. That's what this is about. It's something none of us wish to see for our children to experience the same misery as me. Do you want your kid, defenseless and young, to endure by another the same things which you've done? Do you want someone to hold your daughter down? Do you want her to feel that under someone's body she'll drown? Do you want your kid overwhelmed by depression, emptiness, and fright? Have you ever been in a room full of friends and to the question, you too? Everyone raises their hands. Because I'll tell you something. We continue down this path, things will never get better. Why don't we look at the map? 1 in 3 women. 1 in 6 men. And to some it'll happen again and again, yet only 37% of cases are reported. Lacking conviction, you sat there and retorted that we are liars seeking attention, but only 2% of these stories have been fiction. It is a simple question, yes or no. Hesitation or a shaking head, even then you should go. So what is consent, since we all don't know? It is clear, coherent, ongoing. Don't plead us to reconsider a no. Must it be enthusiastic? Yes, of course. Informed, reversible, and specific. It is not a yes dragged out by force. Because we are all humans, deserving of respect. And to be treated with mindfulness is something we should be able to expect. But for right now, we live in a world where we've overlooked the tears and stories of our brothers and sisters who have been hurt.
People have tried to declare me their own, like claims to a throne. Yet I came to recognize that the birthright of my body is none but mine. No one can understand, appreciate, and worship my body like I do. And what a privilege it is to be blessed with this beautiful bod. My body. No other person would ever be able to understand it. Its curves, the tenfold change in hormones every month, its power. My ovaries and uterus can control nations by producing life or refusing it. My eyes, the windows to my soul, can see the almost undetectable changes to a person's smile. My mouth can sing, speak, and eat. My brain can solve problems as well as imagine music and art. It allows me to think and know, but the thing I know most is that this body is ethereal and supreme. It is to be protected, nourished, ravished, and yes, touched, but only by those who I deem worthy. It is not to be grabbed, poked, or prodded than the ones who I say may. Of course, I hear society say that I'm a sexual thing. But let me make it clear that the existence of my breasts, my butt, does not make me a symbol of lust. Do not be confused by what they who do not have this body say. My body is nothing short of divinity, and yes, that does include my sexuality, but listen. Listen to that word. Mine. It has quite a nice ring to it, to be experienced and claimed by me. And oh, what a wonderful experience my sexuality can be. It can be slow or fast. It can be shared with a lover or alone. Embarrassment, guilt, shame. Ugh, long gone are the days that these fears ruled my actions, my body, my pleasure. They shackled me down once upon a time, yes, but no longer do the whispers of other folk have domain over me and my body. No, this body is my own. Legs, arms, tongue. Now I reward my body. I sing in its delight. I can sleep in another's arms without crawling out of bed, low-hanging head, embarrassed if I let my legs spread to him, her, them. I relish in my lover's kiss, nectar as sweet as honey. And oh, you know the big oh. It should not be oh no, nor oh, but instead, oh my, oh please, oh yes. I will not be ashamed of my body's ability to feel bliss. I will rejoice in its capability to connect with my lover, to move with and adore each other, because I live in the bliss of my entire body's creation. I wish this joy upon us all. I hope we can all have such admiration for our curves, scars, and flawless imperfections, despite the daily criticisms, condemning comments, and impossible expectations. Our bliss will remain steadfast. Look at yourselves, your glorious, brilliant bodies. Remember that our bodies are perfect vessels, with hearts pumping blood, expanding and contracting lungs. We are exquisite, from regally tall to boldly petite, from our foreheads to the calluses protectors on our feet. Even our slobbering mouths, when deep, deep in rest, are nothing short of glorious. We are beautiful, and every curve, mark, and arch. Beyond its purpose to sustain survival, each bit of my body has a story to tell. Stories of joy, perseverance, and a life lived right.
Women don't have short hair on their heads. Women don't have long hair on their legs. When women lay down in your bed, legs spread, slick, silky, shiny, your requirements for head. thought both of us were ready. You told me, don't worry, be sure to hold steady. Well, here I am in all my glory. You look down at my pussy, now you're no longer horny? The presence of my natural self is no obstacle to sex itself, yet you shrink back, as if the hair between my legs took up all the room in the bed. A steamy portal to my being, no state of my body is flawed, yet somehow you'll only take it if it's bald? My confidence took hold of your quaking dick and shrunk it down to a package just big enough for your manliness to fit. But it isn't just stories like these that are confusing. Societal standpoints aside, these viewpoints are confusing. The very parts of me that I have fought and fought for, despite societal contradictions, only ladylike women are sought for. Ladylike? To who? A lot of ladies only look like that to try to appease you. To me, a lady is a woman who does what makes her feel strong, even if those things are looked down upon as less beautiful or wrong. Unibrow or finely sculpted, curly hair or extensions, as long as your appearance is your choice of expression. For me, I choose hair. In whatever form pleases me. I may be silky smooth or a prickly pear. It is my hair, my hair, my hair, my hair, my hair. It makes me feel good. My hair gives me a voice. I am shy no longer. My body, my choice. I am so much stronger than the little girl who used to sneak her mother's razor. Than the little girl who wore pants in the summertime. Than the little girl who thought womanhood meant shaving away every part of me that womanhood brought. Than the little girl who thought it meant to be a woman meant being ashamed. Than the little girl who thought to be worthy she needed others' approval. What happened to that little girl? Bitch, she turned in to me. Now, I suppose I'm supposed to count my blessings. Consider my hairy self lucky to be tolerated. Oh, it's not my preference, but yeah, I don't hate it. To be embraced is too high a goal, and even those who approve are still taken aback, proceeded with, it's cool. The question is still, why do you do that? Why do we need to know why someone looks a certain way? Why do you look that way? I used to look the way I thought I needed to. The line became thin where my choices ended and society's would begin, so I made a new choice. A choice to find out. I gave my armpits free rein, leg hair blowing about. I shaved my head. People viewed it as an accident or a tragedy. No one could wrap their hairy heads around the idea that this was a choice made by me. I detached my worth from my hair. I used to care too much. I was bullied for my legs and arms. Monkey girl. I wasn't as beautiful because my hair wasn't long or luscious. Bullshit! I found myself. I found what I wanted, and I found the courage to stay steadfast despite public stares. My leg hair keeps me warm and fuzzy. I like it. I like the way it feels. I like the way I feel. I feel sexy in pants or dresses or whatever the fuck I want. And it weeds out a few assholes along the way, which is always a plus. My hair is a sign reading, if you don't like it, keep walking. It saves me time, breath, and headaches. Why even waste my time talking to give it to you all of the approval I already gave to myself? I am beautiful with or without hair. I repeat, I am beautiful with or without hair. My choice is mine, and it is good. Hair is good. Hair is good. Hair is good. It shouldn't take a traumatic story just for that to be understood.
shakes once a week, maybe twice if there's a guy to meet. Though that's alright, 'cause I do it for the guy. I put my face on, straighten my hair, get all dressed up to go somewhere, 'cause you never know who's gonna stare. 'Cause all that matters is your short, tight skirt, looking so damn hot 'cause he likes your curves. And you might think I'm dancing 'cause I'm actually having fun, but really I just want your number, hun. But truly I wanna dance for me, no short skirt, just a tee. Yeah, that's me. No high heels, I like my sneakers, why can't I be real? Reply to a done deal. And truly I wanna dance for me, no short skirt, just a tee. Yeah, that's me. No high heels, I like my sneakers, why can't I be real? Reply to a done deal. And truly I wanna dance for me, no short skirt, just a tee. Yeah, that's me. No high heels, I like my sneakers, why can't I be real? Reply to a done deal. And what you see, yeah, it's not me. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what you say, 'cause I'm me and that's okay. I'm beautiful, unstoppable, invincible me.
My revolution begins in the body. It isn't waiting anymore.
My revolution does not need approval or permission.
It happens because it has to happen in each neighborhood, village, city, or town. At gatherings of tribes, fellow students, women at the market, on the bus.
It may be gradual and soft.
It may be spontaneous and loud.
It may be happening already.
It may be found in your closet, your drawers, your gut, your legs, your multiplying cells, in the naked mouth of taut nipples and overflowing breasts.
My revolution is swelling from the insatiable drumming between my legs.
My revolution is willing to die for this. My revolution is ready to live big.
My revolution is over children, this set of minds called patriarchy.
My revolution will not be choreographed, although it begins with a few familiar steps.
My revolution is not violent, but it does not shy away from the dangerous edges where fierce displays of resistance tumble into something new.
My revolution is in this body.
In these hips atrophied by misogyny, in this jaw wired mute by hunger and atrocity.
My revolution is connection, not consumption.
Passion, not profit.
Orgasm, not ownership.
My revolution is of the earth and will come from her.
For her, because of her.
It understands that every time we frack or drill or burn or violate the layers of her sacredness,
we violate the soul of our future.
My revolution is not ashamed to press my body down on her mud floor in front.
Banyan, cypress, pine, callion,
oak, chestnut, mulberry, redwood, sycamore trees. To bow shamelessly to shocking yellow birds and rose blue setting skies. Heart exploding purple bougainvillea and aqua sea.
My revolution gladly kisses the feet of mothers and nurses and servers and cleaners and nannies.
And healers and all who are life and give life.
My revolution is on its knees. On my knees to every holy thing.
And to those who carry empire-made burdens in and on their heads and backs and hearts.
My revolution demands abandon, expects the original.
Relies on troublemakers, anarchists, poets, shamans, seers, sexual explorers,
tricksters, mystic travelers, tightrope walkers, and those who go too far and feel too much.
My revolution shows up unexpectedly. It's not naive, but believes in miracles.
Cannot be categorized, targeted, branded, or even located.
Offers prophecy, not prescription.
Is determined by mystery and ecstatic joy.
Requires listening.
Is not centralized, though we all know where we're going.
It happens in stages and all at once.
It happens where you live and everywhere.
It understands that divisions are diversions.
It requires sitting still and staring deep into my eyes.
My revolution.
My revolution. My revolution.
My revolution.
My revolution is in this body. Go ahead, love.
This shit's gonna kill me, but I won't let it. And I try to give them hell, but they don't get it.